We'll be back with Simantov, like Simantov and Mazel Tov. Right after this, we continue topic bar and bat mitzvahs in Israel. We've had your number on the different, how to connect with you.
Okay.
It's a world now where I know your U.S. operations are out of Seattle, but it doesn't make any difference if it's in Burbank, California, or Queens, New York, or Rishon LeZion. Well, shalom and welcome back. We're going to talk about Simcha with Simantov. Simantov, Mazel Tov, da 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 da. I love that song. So joyful.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It is.
And it's a song about you.
My name is Simantov. Yeah, it is the perfect name for what we're doing.
Exactly. And what you're doing, if I got this correct, it's not too complicated, is you're helping people, youngsters right now, celebrating their bar and bat mitzvahs by doing it in Israel. Oftentimes, yes. I assume the child and the family celebrate the Simcha back in the United States, and then they do it again in Israel to kind of cement that connection between Israel and America, or Israel and the child. And sometimes only in Israel.
Yeah, sometimes only in Israel. Sometimes they come to Israel to make a bond with the country, with the heritage, everything that they're doing in Israel.
It must be inspirational for you. How did you start this? Your brother was a singer?
Yeah, he's a counter, and he started in New York. And after a few times that people heard him, they came to Israel, and in the bar mitzvah, they want him to do singing and everything. And he started to do like a business from that, meaning that he was taking them to the Kotel, and he's arranging the bass, and arranging the trumpets and everything, shofar, everything for them. And since then, it was like 6 years from today. Now we have like around 22 bar mitzvah a month. So it's a lot of work.
Most of them are probably bar mitzvah as opposed to bat mitzvah.
Yeah, I think most of them is bar mitzvah. Maybe 10 or 15% it's bat mitzvah. People not aware of the bat mitzvah issue.
More now, because as we discussed before we went on the air back, if you were like in the 60s now, 60 years old, I guess I would say if you were 12 or 13 years old as a girl in the 1960s, yes. You were, up to that time, you were definitely not bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
It became, but in Israel, they celebrated, it's more of a party without the reading from the Torah, right?
You're not reading from the Torah, but there is a special blessing for bat mitzvah. There is one from Torino, there is one from Spain, from the community, the Jewish community, and it have a special saying for bat mitzvah, because she is already she doesn't put the tefillin and she doesn't read the Torah, but all the rest is the same like a boy.
And most of the bar bat mitzvahs, I believe, at least the bar mitzvahs are at the Kotel, at the wall. But Masada has been used in recent decades too.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Why Masada?
Oh, Masada, that's the huge story of Masada. People knows the story of Masada. Masada was a place that built by Hordos, but the Jewish came there and lived there after our Bet HaMikdash was ruined, the second Bet HaMikdash. And they are the last fortress to rebel against or to fight against the Romans. Now, at the end of their days, they had a lot of debates there what to do, because the Romans were all around Masada, and people are trying to build like a place to get on the mountain, and they were not fighting against the Romans because the people that built it, they were slaves. And then after the Roman got to the mountain, the Roman went in and they saw that everybody was dead. They didn't want to be a hostage in the hands of the Romans, so they killed themselves. So this is the story of the Jewish that were very brave until the last moment, and in the last moment they didn't give up, they killed themselves. So this is a very special place. They don't do only bar mitzvah in Masada. They do also military ceremonies because this is like the sacrifice that we're willing to give for our country. So they do it also in Masada. We do it also in Masada. We had a very nice bat mitzvah there a few months ago. And we do it in Jerusalem, in the Kotel. But in the Kotel, it's not only in the Kotel. It's all the way from Zion Gate through the old city in Jerusalem, singing and dancing and having the bar mitzvah.
It seems like you wanted the celebration filled with a lot of freilich, is what we say in America, the old term of joy. Lots of happiness.
A lot of happiness, because this is like a marriage to the Torah. When you put tefillin, you say, "Ve'erastich li le'olam." Ve'erastich means to be engaged. So the kid is being engaged with the tefillin, with the Torah. It's a lot of... We put chuppah, maybe we can see in the video, we put a chuppah above the bar mitzvah boy and the family, and you go with the chuppah, with drums and singing, a lot of simcha.
Talked about earlier too, recently I was able to take one of my friends who's been on our program quite often, Branko Lustig, who produced Schindler's List and also other movies like Gladiator and Black Hawk Down, a great producer in Hollywood. But he was in Auschwitz and never was bar mitzvahed at the age of 13, so we bar mitzvahed him in front of Barrack 12, the same barrack he lived in when he was 13 years old. Now, that's pretty dramatic. I mean, Auschwitz. Definitely. But I think there's a lot of young people during the Holocaust who couldn't be bar mitzvahed. You know, we take it for granted now. We go to the Kotel since the Sixth War, and Jerusalem was unified, and we're able to go and be bar mitzvahed, whether we have a bar mitzvah here or not, and a bat mitzvah in other locations. But I think there's a great, so we should probably make a shidduch, union here to try to help those who have not been bar mitzvahed, who may be in their 70s or 80s, and those women who weren't bat mitzvahed because it wasn't a custom here, as we said earlier in our discussion. They weren't able to be bat mitzvahed because it wasn't a custom in America. In Israel, it was a custom at 12, but in America, it wasn't until the 1960s that girls became bat mitzvahed. So all those people who are 60 and older, women in America, almost always, some have in later years, but basically they've never been bat mitzvahed before.
Oh, I see. I think it's a very good idea to do.
It's a way for us to outreach through our JLTV audience, which is, I would estimate our audience in the Jewish community right now is about 3 million potential of the 7 million. So it's a great possibility here. It's nice. It's a mitzvah. So I know, I see how happy you are, Simantov.
I got the best job in the world, man. I'm putting kids to their bar mitzvah. I meet the family when they're happy. I meet them when they're doing the mitzvah, when they walk in Jerusalem, when they're singing, when they're dancing.
I see like a grandfather or a great-grandfather who was in a concentration camp or was poor living in Omaha, Nebraska, or Seattle, Washington, and they were never bar mitzvahed. And now they can take the whole family of 20, get in a minibus, have the bar mitzvah that they always wanted, because it seems to me, having this experience with Branko, and his bar mitzvah, that if you're not bar mitzvahed, you don't feel, if you never were, you don't feel total. It's like incomplete, you know. It's.
I heard about a lot of, not a lot, but people that I think the last one was 95 or 97 years old, and he came to the Kotel, and he did his bar mitzvah. There was a lot of festive around it. We were not the one that took care of everything, but he did a bar mitzvah at the Kotel, and I think it's a great idea that people that didn't have the chance and they're willing to come to Israel, we can give them very good experience, a Jewish experience, to do the bar mitzvah.
Look, I can give you the example of my son, who's 42, was bar mitzvah to Kotel and became a rabbi.
Wow.
But you know who sang?
42?
You know who sang at his bar mitzvah to Kotel?
No.
Shlomo Karlebach.
Oh. Yeah, he's well known. And 42, like Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva also, they saying Rabbi Akiva was, until the age of 40, he was not religious because he didn't have any reason. Then after he got to 40, he wanted to marry, and his father-in-law told him, okay, you got to be big in the Torah. So then he converted to be big in the Torah. So they say, Rabbi Akiva איש צנוע, היה רועה בין הרועים, את עדרי כלבה שבוע, עד שנתו 40. It means that he was taking care of the sheep, one of the simple person, until he was 40, and then he became big in the Torah. He learned Torah.
It's like big in the Torah and big in basketball. Tel Aviv. You can do both, right?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
That's the complete life. Big in the Torah and big in basketball.
Sure.
I want to thank you for being here. We've had your number on the how to connect with you.
Okay.
It's a world now where I know your U.S. operations are out of Seattle, but it doesn't make any difference if it's in Burbank, California, or Queens, New York, or Rishon LeZion in Israel,
yes,
where you live. And I mentioned to Simantov a bit of trivia about Rishon LeZion, which is where the Carmel winery was, and the Rothschilds helped to bring wine to the consumer of Israel and around the world. But that's where the first telephone was, in Rishon LeZion at the Carmel winery. But they probably had a busy signal for one. Who's going to call?
Who's going to call? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
First telephone.
The first call took probably another 5 years to get the second one.
Probably.
Well, listen, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Keep
for
up the
having
great
me.
work and doing the mitzvah, and also that's your job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the smiles, too. We'll be right back more from Main Street on JLTV Jewish Life Television.